Boom! We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Nolan Hawkeye Anthony YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be. And of course, however you may be listening. We are going to be continuing with the positional preview here, the positional preview or positional breakdown, rather, of each group for the Iowa Hawkeyes going into the 2022 football season. And we have officially finished all of the positions on the offensive side of the football. And we are going to be looking at the defensive side of the ball now. The position group today that we will be focusing on is, of course, the linebacker group. And I'm excited to talk about this group because the linebackers are always the best guys on the team, the linebackers and the offensive linemen. So this should be a lot of fun. I do want to get a few things off the cuff here, off the chest, rather. Number one, I am so grateful to all of you who have supported me since day one, especially those of you who supported me even way back in the Facebook Live days. I am eternally grateful, and this is just the beginning. We did officially hit 1,000 subs, but that doesn't mean you guys should stop subscribing. Definitely continue with that. But I just want to say thank you. It is a cool achievement. I set out to do this a year ago, reach 1,000, and we did it in a little under a year. So I am very pleased, very happy. There's been many people involved with this, and it's totally awesome. Couldn't be more thrilled. The other thing is we will be discussing some other videos as the season gets closer, such as my season predictions, who I see at the top of the Big Ten, kind of break it up into tiers. Also a game by game prediction or breakdown for the Iowa Hawkeyes going into the 2022 football season. And in general, just kind of my thoughts on the Iowa Hawkeye football team going into the season and my expectations based off of that. Now, if you watch this channel a lot, you know that my expectations for the Iowa Hawkeyes are pretty much set in stone, and they have been for a little while now. So you've heard me discuss them a few times. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. So here we go, guys. We're going to get right into it off the bat. And, there isn't a ton of intrigue with this position, to be totally frank. The same guys that were there last year are here again. And a big portion of this video is going to be dedicated to me giving my expectations for this group and also revealing some of the younger guys and how they are doing and how things are shaping up going into the season here. Of course, and by the way, credit to Sean Bach here on the write-up. Like I always say, don't love the guy, but not a bad write-up here. Right off the bat, you have to start with Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell is the dude is a monster. I think Jack Campbell is the best linebacker prospect to come out of Iowa since maybe Christian Kirksey. And even Christian Kirksey, it's hard for me to use him because he kind of flew under the radar. Christian Kirksey was a guy who, him and Anthony Hitchens had some really productive seasons, but they didn't get the same attention as maybe a James Morris did. But all the physical attributes are there. Christian Kirksey was 6'4" and could really fly around the field. Jack Campbell is 6'5" and can fly around the football field. This dude is super impressive. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he was actually committed to Iowa State at one point. We need to look into this and dive into it a little bit further here. Well, I can't find it. He definitely did visit Iowa State a ton. Usually when you have these things, it shows things such as committed, decommitted, things like that. Either way, I'm super happy he is an Iowa Hawkeye, and this dude has been productive since day one. He is the unobliged leader of this group, and he is probably in the top 5 linebackers going into the 2020 football season across the country. That's national. That's not in the Big Ten. That's national. This guy has everything that you look for in a linebacker: the work ethic, the lunch pail mentality, the athleticism, the size. I think that this dude is going to have a massive season. I really, really do. And I think when people are looking at this Iowa team and judging how talented this roster is, I think they're kind of, even though they are acknowledging how talented the defensive line group and the linebacking group and quite frankly, the entire defense is. And when you really break it down, there's really not a hole anywhere on the defense. Not one place. This defense, as I've said in previous videos, is, in my opinion, the most loaded defense that the Hawkeyes have had in years. And that includes some really, really good defenses, especially last year and the year prior. So, but I think people miss the ball here. They acknowledge how good Iowa's linebacking core is and their defensive line core is when they talk about the Iowa Hawkeyes, yet I don't think they factor just how good they are in the overall impact of the team. They acknowledge the individual talent, but they don't always acknowledge the impact that it will have on the team for the Iowa Hawkeyes and their on the field success. This linebacking group is phenomenal. And Jack Campbell, I think he's going to end up, up there in history books of great Iowa linebackers to come out of the school in a long, long time. So that's who we have to start with first, is Jack Campbell, and he will be the 100% starting middle linebacker for the Iowa Hawkeyes. The second guy on the list here is Seth Benson. He will be the starting weak side linebacker. It's actually weird because I think Jack Campbell was actually the weak side linebacker for a while because of how athletic he is and how much ground he's able to cover on the football field and his exceptional coverage skills. Anyways, I don't think Seth Benson was able to make it work on the outside. And Jack Campbell is so talented, on the inside. And Jack Campbell is so talented that he can play any of the linebacking positions on the field and do exceptionally well. Seth Benson, was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school, under the radar, a guy that the coaching staff always swings on and it always hits. Guys that come from a small town, that, have good families, good work ethics. They come to Iowa and they have success. Maybe not the most physically gifted, but nonetheless, this guy has a ton of football experience, and I think he'll be just fine. Will he end up being, the duo or even the trio that we saw from, the Josie Jewell years with Josie Jewell and Neiman, or, the years with James Morris, Christian Kirksey, and Anthony Hitchens, my guy Hitch? I don't know. We'll see. If Jack Campbell has anything to say about it, they will. It's really up to Seth Benson here how high this group goes, in my opinion. He will be the starting weak side linebacker, and behind him is Jayden Harrell. I forgot to mention Jay Higgins is going to be the guy behind Jack Campbell. I think there's 3 main guys. Well, we'll get into that momentarily. The other starting linebacker for the Iowa Hawkeyes will be Justin Jacobs. And everything that I said about Jack Campbell, you can attach to Justin Jacobs as well. The guy who spurned his home state, Ohio State Bucks, in order to play for the Iowa Hawkeyes. He was phenomenal at the beginning of the season last year and tailored off down the stretch. This guy has all the physical tools, all the athleticism, the length, the coverage skills. It's all there. He just needs to be more consistent. I expect him and Jack Campbell to have massive seasons. And matter of fact, Jack Campbell and Justin Jacobs, I forget which service put this out there, may have been Athlon Sports, one of the major publications, ranked the top 10 linebackers nationally. And both Jack Campbell, who was like 3rd or 2nd, and Justin Jacobs, who is, I think, 8th, were on the list. So the Iowa Hawkeyes have, according to some publications, 2 top 10 linebackers nationally coming back for the Iowa Hawkeyes next year. Now, the guys who are in contention on the second team or the third team, the main guys that I think you guys need to keep in mind would be Higgins. Obviously, he's kind of been in the waiting wings here for a long time. Jayden Harrell, who was out of Urbandale High School, really talented guy, had an impressive offer sheet, high 3-star prospect out of, I think, the Des Moines area. The third guy would be Zach Tweet. I think Zach Tweet is very talented. He's had some injuries, but I think he is right there with these guys when it comes to playing time. And the next guy would be yet another guy that the Iowa Hawkeye coaching staff took a chance on is Carson Sharar, the former Division I offered basketball recruit turned football guy, very athletic, tall, long. The drill. I mean, we've seen it before. The guys that are coming up are really, really talented. The guys that are coming up are, none of them were 4-stars like Jack Campbell or Justin Jacobs, but they're really, really solid with really, really solid offer sheets. Zach Tweet, like I said, Jayden Harrell. And then, there are 2 incoming freshmen that are coming in. I would also say, perhaps Logan Klemps, would get some consideration here. But again, it's really, really hard to tell when we don't have the inside view or the inside eye for each Iowa Hawkeye practice. But the top 3 guys, I would say, the top 4 guys that are coming up, and it's hard for me to put Logan Klemps in that discussion because he's kind of an older guy already, would be Klemps. Well, let's do it in order. I would say Higgins, Jaden Harrell, Zach Tweet, Logan Klemp, Carson Sharar. Those, I know I said 4, but those are the 5 guys that are in major contention. If I would whittle it down to 3, I would say Harrell, Higgins, and Sharar and Tweet. It's hard, guys. Sharar and Tweet would be tied. So anyways, a lot of talent coming up, and we'll see how it goes. The 2 incoming freshmen that are coming in for the Iowa Hawkeyes next year. One guy, his dad played for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Very, very cool story in Jaden Montgomery. And the second guy was a late get by the Iowa Hawkeyes, another, multi-sport athlete, high 3-star guy. Hawkeyes got late in the process, small town Northern Iowa kid in Landon Van Kekerix. I'm going to read a little bit of this and then we're going to wrap it up here. The most experienced group on the defense side of the ball for the Hawkeyes is linebackers. Iowa returns all 3 starters from last year's group in Campbell, Benson, and Jacobs, and there are a lot of outside expectations of what this group can become. Iowa's linebacking core is considered not only one of the best in the Big Ten, but in the country, led by Campbell and Benson, while Jacobs showed signs of growth as well with his play. In fact, Pro Football Focus declared Campbell as the number 3 linebacker prospect in the 2023 NFL draft, and Jacobs was number 9. See, I told you guys about that. Now, to wrap this up, what are my expectations for this group? Well, guys, you guys heard it. This group is uber talented with phenomenal athleticism, phenomenal size. I mean, in some years, Iowa has very productive linebackers, but they lack in maybe size and athleticism. But this group has it all. I mean, they have 2 6'4", 6'5" linebackers that make the passing lanes and the running lanes extremely narrow because of their size. They're super physical. They're pretty solid in coverage. And on top of that, they have the experience. They've been there before. So my expectations are through the roof for this group. I think that this is going to be, definitely top 3 position groups for the Iowa Hawkeyes by the end of the season when we look at production. And I think that this group may be so talented that it even elevates the Iowa Hawkeyes into contention into the levels that I think that they can get. I think Jack Campbell is going to vie for some All-American honors as long as he can stay healthy. I think Justin Jacobs, will be close behind. And I think this group is super, super talented. You guys should be very excited about this linebacking group. And it's hard for me to see a shortcoming with this group. You have experience, size, athleticism, coverage skills. You have everything. So obviously they need to get it done on the field, but there's a lot to love about this position group. Let me know what you guys think about the linebacking group, who you guys see coming up through the wings that you guys are excited about. How excited are you about this position group? What are your expectations? Yada, yada, yada. I will see you guys next time. DBAP, don't be a pussy, Willow. In fact, our feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. Love you guys. See you guys next time. Go Hawks. Bye-bye.